Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of Wild Card Weekend on EA Sports. Coming up, we've got a good one on tap between America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, and the Atlanta Falcons. With that, let's get up to Atlanta. We're standing by at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The NFL playoffs are on EA Sports, and we've got a packed house here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in downtown Atlanta. Winner go home is the mantra, and off we go. We're underway in this NFC wildcard game. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
And when I think of Russell Wilson, I think not just of the big plays that he's made, and those are considerable, but when they were made. 4th and 26 in a Big Ten championship game against Michigan State when he was with Wisconsin. A big completion helped lead his team to a victory. A big 4th down throw for a touchdown in an NFC championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. When the chips are down, this guy plays at a big level.
On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. 2nd down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up 3rd down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
They go play action with Wilson. Time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. The Falcons send out their punter. And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is taken at about the 14. Officially, that'll be a 63-yard punt. Well done. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. First down, Boykin. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a 1st down. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, it could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage. Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
Check. Fresno. 59 mark. Check. 59. Woo! Alert flare. Flare.
it for the first time with Tony Pollard. And this one also slow in developing as he's maybe getting back here to the line of scrimmage, but not much more than that. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
And what a tough environment to roll into. On the road, playing one of the better teams in the league, obviously, because this is the playoffs. So what do teams talk about? Bringing their own momentum, bringing their own energy on the road, because you know you won't get any from the home crowd.
Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. And he gets it just shy of midfield, but that's not enough. He's short of the marker. They pick up 10, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
59 mark, check, 59.
They'll run forward with Pollard, and he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. The Cowboys here unable to convert on 4th down. And this defense will take over right near midfield at the 49-yard line.
I'm coming.
A first down carry for Barkley. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be 2nd and 11.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Now a pass, and it's complete to QT. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 yards, first down, Atlanta.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
They'll run on first down. Barkley, room here to run. And he is out of bounds, but first he gets it inside the 10 to the 7. All told, it's an even 30 and a first down.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
A throw out line to QT, complete. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That'll bring up 2nd and goal after the gain of 5. Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
So many weapons on this offense, and we've seen them all season long score from any point on the field. But we all know playoff football comes down to playing smart. The game slows down, and it's harder to move it. So you've got to avoid penalties, avoid turnovers, and not let your emotions get the best of you.
Call it a gain of 2 as they're knocking on the door now. 3rd and goal. Here are the starters defensively for the Cowboys. They were quite formidable in the win over the Eagles a week ago. And last week in that victory, they were pretty good. Probably a pretty easy film session, I would imagine.
And after a performance like that, so many people think you just roll into film, take your popcorn, kick back, and enjoy the show because they played well. I can just tell you from experience, after a win is when coaches come down on you harder because they want to emphasize all the mistakes that happen. Because you won, you're in a good mood. They want to bring you back to earth. Oftentimes you walk out of there and you ask your teammate, did we win last week?
So my assumption was wrong. I learned something. You can already start to hear this crowd. They're saying, go for it.
Yeah, have we ever been in a game where you've heard the crowd go, field goal, field goal?
No, I have not. That's a good point.
Yeah, they always want to go for it. And I think they've got the right idea right now. The way they've moved the ball in this drive, I wouldn't stop that momentum. Go get it.
The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
On 2nd down, it's Pollard. He'll have a first down past the 40. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Cowboys. Tony Pollard, 73 yards. And the Cowboys have taken the lead. Extra point right down the middle. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They've been a come-from-behind team all year. They'll need to do it again as they trail early in this wild card game.
They're going to need some therapy after this. He's coming, he's coming, he's coming. We got to double up, double up.
They'll start out on the ground. It's Saquon Barkley. And he'll take it forward for about 5 up to the 28-yard line. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
2nd and 5 now. Wilson, and he's going to have the hook up to QT. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. They go play action now. Wilson. And he finds a man on a crossing route. A gain of 6 there on first. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break the tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Wilson now to throw on 3rd down. Open man, it's Keith Kirkwood. His first catch of this wild card game, and it's good for a first down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Now Saquon Barkley. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Play action. It's Wilson. Got an open man. It's QT. And he'll go down inside the 45 before going out of bounds. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. On the draw, this is Barkley. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It's a pickup of 3, but it brings up what will be an interesting 4th and 1. They're going on 4th down. It's Wilson. He gets this into the hands of Kirkwood. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they could do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Check 37.
They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have retaken the lead. Now, let's not forget that was all set up by the 4th down conversion earlier in the drive.
Would have been a complete letdown if the drive doesn't culminate this way, wouldn't it? If you're going to go for it on 4th down, your intention is to make sure you get a touchdown out of the drive, and that's exactly what they did. Converted, and it converted a second time for 6 points.
This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go!
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And they had to wait a long time to get the football back. Probably not what you were hoping for when you got an offense that's humming.
Agreed. What you were looking for is the defense getting the ball back pretty quickly, right? Hoping for a 3 and out. So that didn't happen. You can't yell at your D for that. They've got to take care of their own business and reestablish themselves now that they're back on the field.
That one's good for 35 yards on the ground and a first down. I have a pretty good friend, Charles Davis, who tells me that when he sees plays like that, strong runs to the right, reminds him of the 1960s Green Bay Packers.
Boy, those were the days back when the fullback actually carried the ball as well as blocked. Then you had a halfback. You had pulling guards, guys who could get out and run. And you can hear the great coach saying it back then. So we get a seal here and a seal here, and we run this play right in the alley.
It'll be a 5-yard pickup there, so from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
On 3rd down, Boykin. A big chunk on the ground there, 27 yards.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, though, if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. On 2nd down, Boykin. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Taking it in from 11 yards out. And the Cowboys have once again taken the lead.
Mike, 58, right there. Tighten up. Pull it together.
They begin with a run by Barkley. He'll have a first down past the 40 as they finally wrangle him in at the 48. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
This is a little bit like baseball here. Strong up the middle. Both sides want to be that. In this case, the offense ends up winning the ultimate battle.
And those big runs between the tackles, that's a little deflating for a defense, isn't it?
It really is, because that's where your strength's supposed to be. You're supposed to be in a spot where they can't make that yardage there. You're supposed to send them outside. Not in this case.
Here we go again.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. And he'll get it down here to the 43. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going. Wilson with a first down carry. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. 2 minutes to play here in this first half of the NFL playoffs. Coming up at the half, we remind you that we're going to do what we've done all year. We'll get you down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. Coach will have the lowdown of what's going on here in this wild card week. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. He'll get to the line here, but remember, it's also 3rd down. From midfield now, here's Wilson. He's going to swing this deep downfield into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Justin Reed. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
Down he goes at the 23, a pickup of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
On second down now. Boykin. And now nothing but green ahead of him. 20. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great play there. And the Cowboys are able to show off their quick strike ability. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And his guys are going to get the football at their own 47-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. A new life now following the late turnover. Maybe a chance for points here before the break.
Yeah, pretty nice situation they find themselves in because they're really maybe one completion away from giving their kicker a shot, and that gives them a chance to get some points up on the board.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Check, 59.
Jackson. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. And for the Falcons, 5 men in the secondary, now on 3rd.
Sack lunch, baby. Check it out, read. Back.
From midfield now, here's Jackson. Completes it to Samuel. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Check 13. Check 13. Crunch. Screen.
Now a handoff here to his running back. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. This will be from 49 yards out. And his kick is good. Didn't hit it all that well, but he got enough on it to put it through. So due to time constraints, we move you forward in today's broadcast to the beginning of the 3rd quarter. One of these two teams about to play their final half of the season as we're back at it in this NFC wildcard bout. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
On 2nd down, Pollard. Just a couple there on the second down run. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8 situation.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Forcing completion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball, protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Running game working. They'll stick with it on first down. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And down to the 16-yard line. A big pickup of 38.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him. But don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside, they can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A 16-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
Look, we all know that sometimes we see upsets in
Mike is 59. Mike to 59.
They'll try and get this run game going. This is Barkley. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. A gain of 3, second down. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. They'll go to Barkley again. And that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield.
So if these guys are going to chop into that deficit, they're going to have to do a much better job in the run game. Caught behind the line of scrimmage, no yardage to be found.
On 3rd down, Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. This is taken at the 18. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. So out now comes the offense back onto the field. And, you know, both of us gave these guys a real shot coming in here, but I don't think anyone saw this on the road with this lead in the playoffs. They've looked good a lot of times this year. This is probably as good as they've looked.
Well, it's been a textbook game for them because what you talk about as a visiting team is putting the pressure on the home team. And what puts more pressure on a home team than to be behind the entire game? Because the home crowd's there really for a coronation. They expect to win. And when you're behind, it takes the crowd out of the game. And then the crowd gets a little bit uncomfortable, maybe a little bit frustrated with the home team. And that gives you an extra advantage. So they've done it perfectly. Big lead, put everything back on the home team, and they're capitalizing on it.
Right now, that crowd, silent. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Now a give, right side. Boykin. And he's into the clear. Touchdown, Cowboys. A big play there. Saving his...
Mike's 59. Come on. You better bring it.
On first down, Barkley. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Again, it's Barkley. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. Continues to be a struggle for this offense and this home crowd. They're growing a little restless here in the second half.
And I think they've just got to look at how they're trying to move the football. Yeah, you want to run it, but maybe you spread it out, maybe some swing passes that can take the place of runs and give you a little more space.
They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping them from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And last time out, another touchdown, and I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this one's just about decided. But you know who benefits from all those empty seats? You and me, trying to get to the airport. The roads will be fairly clear.
That is one. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. A great effort there. An 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue.
Mike, 58, right there. You got nothing today. You got nothing.
They'll run on first down. Barkley, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
Watch the run.
From the gun, it's Wilson. That's complete. He's got Barkley out of the backfield. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Here's Wilson. That's caught by his tight end, Foster Moreau. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. Now a throw for the left sideline, and he's got it. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
58, right over there, right over there. Yeah. Mike, 58.
On 2nd and 12, Wilson nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It's a team game, but sometimes individuals do stand out, don't they? How about that for a twofer? Tackle for a loss on the running play on the previous down, and then comes right back and gets a sack.
3rd and long, it's Wilson. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's 4th down. The Falcons send out their punter. He's been one of their few bright spots so far. And this will be out of bounds, and they spot it at the 15-yard line. Not too bad. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
And he almost gets this to the 30, taken down about a yard shy. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
Brendan, every great running backs coach I've talked with has always talked about when you have great vision, you're not consciously thinking about your cuts and your moves. You're just doing them. And I think that's what we're seeing tonight. He's about running them into submission, hasn't he?
You took the words right out of my mouth. I was just going to use that phrase. He has run them into submission.
Wave the white flag.
Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
He continues to have a big night here under the lights carrying the football.
And some guys prefer night games. For whatever reason, their bodies react a certain way. They love the spotlight. Maybe that's what it is. The best seats in the house, the ones where he's carrying the football for his offensive teammates. The worst seats, the 11 guys trying to tackle him on defense.
All runs on this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. First down, and they go back to Harris. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Nice job there defensively to clamp down because really they've been on their heels this drive.
Agreed, and they really needed that one for confidence, just to feel a little bit better. But I don't know if I would be daunted by them stopping me on one run. This drive has gone pretty well. I could come right back at them.
The second down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've been good, 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 9.
Mike 5-9, Mike 5-9. Go.
Let's set a tone, fellas.
Set, go.
From the gun, it's Jackson. This to Jarwin. And finally, down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
I got him.
Begin.
Now a first carry for their fullback. Trying to keep those big legs churning, but he's going to go down in the backfield. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. Give him right around 4 on the carry. We'll see if they want to keep pounding here on 3rd and goal. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the first.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the 2nd level.
And no hesitation about this decision here. Confidently, they're going to go for this. 4th and goal from the 3. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 3-yard touchdown run as his guy.
Flag 90. Go 58's the mic. Defense wins championships, baby.
Now Wilson on 1st down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
To try again after the sack. Wilson. And boy, that one drops incomplete, but if he was hit a fraction sooner, it may have been a fumble. The Falcons on 3rd down. Not so hot. 2 for 9 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. Out of the gun. Here's Wilson. Open man is QT, complete. 14 yards is the pickup there, but it'll still lead to a 4th down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
He's checking crack. Hey, Ringo. Orbit. Check safety. Kill. Check 9.
On first down, Boykin, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away. On 2nd down now, Pollard. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long.
Let's go. Switch. Check 3. Deuce.
On 3rd down, Boykin.
Here we go.
And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. The previous play, they barely got back to the line of scrimmage. Now they pick up over 30 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Check.
They'll keep it on the ground. Boykin. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Watch the shift. Check 99.
On 2nd down, Boykin. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3. They said beginning of the season they wanted to get past the wild card round. Well, they just got past the wild card round.
How about that, being able to put the big check marks up in the locker room, right? Get to the wild card game, check, got that done. Win a wild card game, big check. Now you've got to go ahead and set your sights higher. There is a bigger prize out there, and they still have an opportunity.